Hi everyone, welcome. Yeah, yesterday's vlog was a little dramatic, so today we're gonna take things a little bit more lighthearted and we're just gonna talk about some of my most embarrassing moments in pre-K and elementary. So this is a new series I want to do, which is some story times from my school life, which I hope can relate to some of you. I am so excited to be talking about these because elementary is my favorite, are some of my favorite years in my whole entire life. Once we get to middle school and high school, yeah, no, not fun, not cute in any way, shape, or form. So today we're talking about my embarrassing moments in pre-K and elementary school, which there aren't that much, which is why I'm doing a collection of different stories in this video, just to make up like one whole video. And some stories that are longer are gonna get their own time to shine and whatever. So let's begin. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is my first day of pre-K. So I honestly don't remember anything from pre-K except for this one moment. I don't remember my teachers, my classmates. I honestly don't remember nothing, just the first day. So the first day of preschool went, it was rather interesting. Well, it wasn't even, I'm not even going to talk about the whole first day. I don't really remember that. Just me getting dropped off at school. Okay, so we lived fairly close to school. You know, I was getting ready and my mom went to go drop me off at school. She did. We got out of the car and everything. We start walking inside. So there's these glass doors, right? And you open the glass door and then there's other glass doors. So there's like two set of doors you have to walk through to get into the school. So at the first glass door, we walk in, I start crying and I start throwing the biggest fit ever. Like the biggest fit, like the craziest, biggest fit ever. Like I'm screaming, I'm like holding the door, not letting go because I do not want to go to school. I was screaming, I was pushing, shoving, I was like, no, I am not going in here. This is crazy. It was crazy. It was, I wish I could go back and just see myself. It's insane. Okay, so my mom, of course, calmed me down or whatever, and I did end up going to school that day. Everything just went normal. But you know what the funny thing is? My mom was like 3 minutes from the school. Not even. Yeah, 3 minutes from the school. Like, I could just walk to where my mom was. But, you know, I'm a kid and I didn't really know stuff, so I threw a ginormous fit. So that's the only story I have for pre-K because I went to pre-K, which was a whole different school than my elementary because we moved in between those times. Let me talk about elementary now. I'm so excited to get into these story times. Although these stories are embarrassing, I feel like they made me who I am. The first story I have isn't really embarrassing for me. It's embarrassing for someone else. I'm not going to say any names, of course, but I just want to talk vaguely about it because it's something that's engraved in my memory. So there was this girl who I was friends with. Apparently I wasn't that close of friends with her because... Okay, let me just tell you what happened with her. Every day at lunch, she would throw up. Every day at lunch. Like, every single day at lunch, she would be throwing up food. It was scary. I was so scared for her, but we were all, like, used to it. It's like, oh, yeah, she's just throwing up again. It was so crazy. I think this was in, like, first grade, second grade. I think it was around that point. She would just throw up. It was crazy. No one would sit with her because they knew she would just throw up. And they're like, we want to enjoy our food. So we're just going to grab our little lunches with our little milks and just go sit over here. I felt so... Now that I'm looking back at it, I feel so bad for her. And I hope she's okay and she got all of that checked out. Oh my gosh. I should have been a bigger person and have gone and talked to her. But of course, I was a kid. I didn't know any better. I feel so bad for her. So this next story is just a very, very short one, which isn't a big deal, but I thought it was a big deal when I was little. This was in kindergarten. So we had nap time. You would have nap time at school, which you would sleep on these mats that were red and blue. You would just sleep for like maybe 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just 30 minutes. They didn't let you sleep the whole entire time, like an hour or two, just 30 minutes. And after that, you would have story time. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, it's pretty smart having the kids sleep so they're awake for the story time instead of the kids being tired for story time and then falling asleep. But, okay, here's what happened. I overslept for nap time because, you know, I was tired, okay? I was really tired, and if you're gonna tell me it's nap time, that just means it's time to sleep. So I overslept. When I woke up, the teacher was already reading a story, and I was the only kid awake. So I feel like this did happen before, but there were other kids who were also asleep like me. But this time, I was the only one asleep, and I woke up and I was just like, yeah, hi. I was embarrassed, but looking back at it now, it's not really that embarrassing, but I was really embarrassed back then. Next story. I remember when I was little, I went to this party, and we got party favors. When you were little, party favors was the biggest thing ever. Them giving you a little bag full of little toys. Best thing ever you could ever get from a party. It's like you're getting your own present and you're like so excited. In that bag, I had this little lizard. It was like a little multicolored rainbow lizard that you could stretch, and it was like gummy or whatever. It was so cute. I loved it. I was obsessed. Like when I was little, the little toys, I obsessed over them. So this lizard was my best friend. It was my everything. I loved it so very much. Then I took it to school. I was so happy having that little lizard with me throughout the whole day. I'm pretty sure this was also maybe in kindergarten, maybe first grade. I was so happy. I was ecstatic. This little lizard was my best friend. At recess, I decided to start showing everyone. Then this girl came around and she was like, the teacher said you're not supposed to have toys at school. And I was like, don't tell her. What did she do? She grabbed my hand and she took me to the teacher and told her about my lizard. And the teacher confiscated it. I am still mad to this day at that girl for doing this. I miss that lizard so much. How rude. How rude, girl. How rude. Funny thing about this whole entire story is that I then dated this girl in like 4th grade, so crazy how the world works, huh? But I still miss that lizard and I want it back. I'm so sad about it. But that was just embarrassing because I didn't really get in trouble a lot when I was little, and when I did get in trouble, it was a big deal because I was shook. I was shook. I was a good kid. All my teachers loved me, and getting in trouble was... The next 2 stories just have to do with me being in costume. So if I'm able to find pictures of these, I will post them at some point, maybe in the thumbnail, maybe in the video. Just if I'm able to find them, I just have to find the yearbook. We had this dress up as a character day at school. This wasn't embarrassing in the moment because I was obsessed, but it's embarrassing looking back at it now. So I decided to go as SpongeBob, as a book character. As SpongeBob, because I worked my way around everything. Because if I loved SpongeBob, I was going to incorporate him in anything. So I decided to dress up as SpongeBob in this big, ginormous, square suit thing where your head popped out, and it was a look. Okay? I thought I was the coolest person ever walking around as SpongeBob. I got my picture as SpongeBob. I remember the costume not even fitting. Like, it was started to rip because I think this was maybe in 4th grade. In that costume, I think I got like in 3rd grade. I don't know. But it just didn't start to fit. So it was kind of awkward just walking around with it. I remember people loving it because back then everyone was obsessed with SpongeBob. So they were like, oh my gosh, you're SpongeBob. Okay, the way I did get around this is that SpongeBob did produce a lot of books back then. So I was like, hey, I have the SpongeBob book. I'm a book character. That's how I got around that. This next story sort of kind of goes with this as well. We have morning announcements in elementary school. There was this new thing that started in like 5th grade that it was the coolest thing ever and you wanted to be a part of it. Looking back at it now, like I said, this was really embarrassing and I would probably never do this now. Maybe. So there was this book fair that they would promote at the morning announcements and you had to dress up. There was 3 people. One dressed up as Cat in the Hat, one dressed up as Sting 1, and one dressed up as Sting 2. It was really cute, it was really funny. Not really. But I always wanted to be the Cat in the Hat or Thing 1 or Thing 2. I would just really wanted to do it. So I became Thing 2 because here's how I got the job, the gig. So this book fair, I was obsessed. When I tell you I was the person who bought the most books from the book fair, I'm not even kidding. My mom would come with me to school and bring her money just so I can get all these books. I wish I had all these books now. I obviously gave them all away. I completely regret it now because I would love to have shown you what kind of books I had back then. But when I tell you I was obsessed with books, I was the person who bought the most books. It was crazy. My mom ended up becoming really close friends with the lady who worked at that cashier because, like I said, this book fair happened like every Friday, and I would always be there getting books, going early to make sure I get all the earliest picks of all the books. They knew me by name, they knew my mom by name, so they decided that to ask me if I wanted to be in the morning announcements, and I said sure. So I was either thing 1 or thing 2. It was pretty weird. I had to memorize lines and actually go up there, and I remember everyone watching me in the morning, and then going back to class, everyone was looking at me and they were like, "Ooh, you are thing 1." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a celebrity, yeah, hey." Yeah, it was really fun, but embarrassing looking back at it. One day, one of the outfits I wore, which I was always dressed cute, my mom always dressed me like very cute and adorable. I was wearing this Cars little vest that was reversible. It was so cute. I loved it so much. And my vest was gray, but it was like no, it wasn't gray. It was a silver that was bright and like flashy. It was really cute. I loved it. The other side was red. So I had it on the gray side. It was so cute. I felt so cool. I felt so fly. Like I was like walking in school, like everyone was jealous of my little vest. We were outside in the trailers. At my elementary school, there were trailers that we would go outside. Then we would have some classes inside. But when we were out in the trailers, our teacher would talk to another teacher, which, let me tell you, that teacher wasn't nice. That teacher wasn't friendly. I didn't like her. She just, I didn't like that teacher at all. I still remember her name. That's how much I don't like her, and I could put her on blast right now. But, of course, I hold nothing against her because when I look back at it, it's not that bad. It's still kind of bad, but it's not that bad. Anyways, so that teacher saw my outfit, she saw my vest, and she called me an astronaut. She's like, "You look like an astronaut," but she said it kind of in a snarky way, and I was just so offended. Obviously, now I'm not offended, but when I was little, that hurt me like a wrecking ball. That really hurt me. I was so sad that I turned my vest inside out just to the red side because she hurt me so much. Like, that really hurt me. So here's a little PSA. Don't say things to little kids that's just gonna scar them for life, because even the smallest thing that you don't think is a big deal is really gonna affect the child. So don't tell them that. Anyways, I was sad. I was depressed. I went home and I told my mom, and my mom is awesome. She's like, "Nobody is messing with my child." So she went to the school. She talked to the teacher. She's like, "I want to talk to the teacher. She said something about my child. No one is going to say anything about my child." My mom told her off, and that teacher never looked at me again, never talked to me again, never said anything about me again. I was living. I was so happy. I was just like, my mom is amazing and I love her so much. So that's what happened to that teacher. Now to talk about the title of this video, which this is the story that's still engraved in my brain today. I'm pretty sure this happened in first grade. All I remember from it is we were outside for PE. We were all running around. We were all just like having fun or whatever. It was a great day. Then I had to go to the restroom. But in order to go to the restroom, we all needed to wait till we were all inside. I couldn't just go ask, "Can I go to the restroom?" Plus, I'm pretty sure I was scared of my teacher or something because I just didn't want to tell her that I really needed to go to the restroom. When I tell you, I was like holding in the pee, like I was like shook. I was shook. So we all sat down on the pavement and she did a count of all the kids to make sure we were all there, and then we go inside. But that count was taking forever. Like, time was ticking. I was about to pee myself. And what happens next? I pee myself. It was a little embarrassing. Nobody saw it, which was weird. I was happy, but the crazy thing is we were all sitting down, and that's when I peed. You could see the pavement turn dark because, you know, when water lands on like concrete, it gets dark. So you could see it become dark because of my pee. So I was just like, yeah, that happened. Then we went inside. We were with our teacher, and I remember just being so nervous. I was so embarrassed and nervous, and I was just like, I guess I have to say something about this. So I just raised my little hand, and I was like, "Teacher, I'm not sure if I went up to her to talk to her, because when they call on you, you're just supposed to speak out loud. So I think I did say it out loud, which was so embarrassing. Like, I'm back at it now. I'm so glad I'm not in that moment, but it's just crazy. And I was like, I peed myself. And she's like, okay, get up. So everyone was required to bring an extra pair of underwear. So she told me to go change in the classroom. So I went with another kid. The kid stood outside while I was changing in the classroom. That was just so embarrassing looking back on it now. But I guess the teacher didn't really care because she was probably used to all kids peeing all the time. But for that to happen to me, that was really embarrassing and crazy. I was just like shook, like I keep saying. Anyways, guys, those were my embarrassing stories for elementary school. I'm pretty sure I have some for middle school and high school. I really tried to forget middle school and high school as much as possible. I still have some story times for those, but I will see you guys in my next video, which will probably be more story times from my elementary school years. After that, you're getting a vlog, which is going to be me hanging out with my friends, so I hope you guys stay tuned and are able to watch that. I will see you all later. Have a great day. And tell me in the comments down below, what is your most embarrassing elementary school story? Just tell me so we can relate and I don't feel as bad about my stories and you don't feel as bad about your stories. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!